In life, there are moments when silence becomes louder than noise. For Amanda, that silence had begun to speak. It spoke in the insults she heard every morning. It spoke in the cold eyes of her mother-in-law. It spoke in Daniel's silence whenever Vanessa lied. And most painfully, it spoke in the way her own husband no longer looked at her like she mattered. Amanda was still in that house, but she was no longer living in it. She was only surviving. One early morning, before the sun fully rose, Amanda stood in the kitchen staring at a small bag she had quietly packed. Not much, just a few clothes, her documents, and the little savings she had managed to keep hidden. Teresa walked in quietly and froze when she saw her. "Madam," Amanda forced a small smile. "I'm not staying here anymore." Teresa's eyes widened. "Where will you go?" Amanda looked down. "I don't know yet, but I can't breathe in this place anymore." There was a long silence. Then Teresa stepped forward and held her hand. "I understand you." Amanda's eyes filled with tears immediately. For the first time in a long time, someone had not blamed her. Meanwhile, in the same house, Vanessa was already seated in the living room, laughing with Daniel's mother. They were planning the unborn child's naming ceremony as though everything was already settled. Amanda's presence no longer mattered to them. She had become a shadow, something to be ignored or insulted when necessary. Daniel had already left for another engineering project, leaving instructions that Vanessa should be taken care of. And Amanda, she was not even mentioned, not once. That morning, Amanda walked out of the house quietly. No argument, no confrontation, no tears in front of them. Only Teresa saw her leave, and only Teresa cried as she watched her walk away. Days later, Daniel returned home from his project. He expected the usual routine. Amanda would greet him. Dinner would be ready. The house would be calm. But something felt different.
Why did this happen? I can't take this anymore. Please make it stop.
"Your wife has finally shown her true colors." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" She lowered her voice dramatically. "She left." Daniel blinked.
Your wife has left the house. Yes, your wife left you. She packed her bags and left.
Amanda left. He walked into their bedroom. It was empty. Her clothes were gone. Her presence was gone. But something worse than emptiness filled the room. Confusion. For the first time in a long while, Daniel called Amanda's phone. It rang, but she did not pick. He called again and again. Still nothing. A strange discomfort began to grow in his chest. Something he could not explain. Something he had ignored for too long. Meanwhile, Amanda had started a new life. She had found work in a small administrative office in another part of the city. It was not glamorous, but it was peaceful. For the first time in years, she woke up without insults. She ate without stress. She worked without being watched like a criminal. And slowly, she began to breathe again. But Daniel was not at peace. Something inside him began to break. At first, he blamed anger. "She'll come back," he told himself. "She just wants attention." But days turned into weeks, and Amanda did not return. Then something unexpected happened. Vanessa began to change. Her attitude became aggressive. She started demanding money, more money. When Daniel hesitated, she threatened him. "If you don't take care of me, I will expose you." Daniel frowned. "Expose me for what?" Vanessa smirked. "You know what I'm talking about." But for the first time, Daniel did not respond with fear. He responded with silence. A dangerous silence. One evening, Daniel refused to give her money. That was the moment everything changed. Vanessa stormed into the sitting room, and in anger, she shouted words that shattered the entire house. "I'm not even sure this pregnancy is yours." The room froze. His mother stood up immediately. "What did you say?" Vanessa panicked. I mean, I was just angry, but it was too late. The damage was done. That night, Daniel could not sleep. For the
I've
first
been
time in
so
months,
hard on
he
Amanda.
started thinking,
It's because of
really
Vanessa
thinking, about
and my
Amanda,
mother.
about the lies,
I have to
about
make
the
this right.
accusations, about how easily he had believed everything, about how she never fought back with hatred, only tears and silence. The next morning, Daniel did something he had avoided for too long. He went for a medical checkup, a full fertility test. When the results came out, the doctor looked at him carefully before speaking. Engineer Daniel, I need you to stay calm. Daniel's heart began to race. What is it? The doctor sighed. You have a very low sperm count. Silence. The words did not immediately make sense. The doctor continued gently. This condition has likely been there for a long time. Daniel felt his legs weaken. He sat down slowly. His mind went blank. Low sperm count. 7 years of marriage. Amanda's tears. Her loyalty. Her patience. Everything began to replay in his head like a storm. And then it hit him. Hard. Painfully. Clearly. Amanda could not have done what they accused her of. Not because she was perfect, but because the problem was never her. It was him. Daniel stood up abruptly and left the hospital without saying another word. That night, he did not go home. He went to Amanda's best friend's
Please,
house.
is Amanda
He
here?
knocked
I
repeatedly.
need to find her.
When she opened the door and saw him, her expression changed immediately. I need to see Amanda, he said urgently. She crossed her arms. You don't get to say her name like that anymore. Daniel's voice broke slightly. Please, I made a mistake. She stared at him for a long time. Then she spoke softly. She is not here. Daniel stepped forward. Where is she? Her voice became firm. That is something you should have asked yourself before you destroyed her. Daniel lowered his head. I didn't know. She cut him off. You didn't want to know. Silence filled the space. Then she finally spoke again. She is working now. She started over. Daniel's eyes widened. Take me to her. The woman hesitated.